So today's topic is going to be online reputation management. Online reputation management is something I get a lot of questions about, and it's something I don't really do as far as for clients because it's a lot of work. I have done it and I have succeeded at it, but it's a lot of work but it's really important, which we're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about some of the things that I do, give you some examples, and then we're going to talk about some other things. So if you have any questions at any point, put them in the chat or the comments, and I'll get to them at the end, and then we'll go from there. So online reputation management. Why is online reputation management important? Here are some bullet points that I definitely did not get from ChatGPT. That say is first impressions, right? For a lot of people, when they want to go learn about a person or a business, first thing they're going to do is Google them, look them up on social media, and a positive online presence can create a strong first impression. For the record, that doesn't apply just to business either. If you are single and you start like meeting people on apps and stuff like that, they're going to go look you up too if they can figure it out. So it's more important, just a little tidbit there, like think about it beyond just business, but it's important for business too, because it gives you a competitive advantage. A positive online reputation can differentiate a business from its competitors. That's a key factor in a customer's decision-making process, because if they go and they Google you or they look you up on Facebook or whatever, and everybody says that you suck, they're going to be less likely to buy from you. Like, it's pretty straightforward, the thinking on this, I think. Revenue impact. Now, this one is sneaky because you don't necessarily know that you lose someone when you have a bad online reputation, but you do. And conversely, paid ads can actually become cheaper if you have a good online reputation, because what a lot of people will do is they'll see a Facebook or an Instagram ad or a TikTok ad, then they'll go Google search you, find out more about you, and buy through you that way. So that doesn't get attributed to Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I mean, depending, like there's some advanced software that can make that happen, but that doesn't get attributed to the original source. It gets attributed to your online reputation or a Google search. So it's important to note that that can actually help you if you do paid ads. If we have any paid ads, folks, it's not in the house, but on today. Brand image. Managing your online reputation helps maintaining a consistent and positive brand image, which is important for long-term success, which I kind of just made the point, right? But there's a little bit more to that too. Like, we're going to talk about controlling it yourself, but if you don't control your brand image, someone else is going to control it for you. So by managing your own reputation or your client's reputation, you get to put out the image that you want, as opposed to what everybody else will decide, and everybody else is going to get it wrong. So it's important that you control this on your own. And this will be of particular interest to most of this crowd. And that's the SEO benefits, right? Like having positive online content and reviews and forum posts and people talking about you brings in rankings and traffic, indirectly and directly, because those things will rank on their own, but they will also help you rank your own sites. So that's kind of the super quick introduction to why is ORM, online reputation management, which we're going to call ORM from here out, is why it's important. Now, some things to consider. Digital real estate. Digital real estate is things that you own that are about your brand and help your reputation. Digital real estate meaning places on the internet that you own, like you own a house or a piece of land or an apartment or whatever. It's the same kind of thing, except digital. And you want to create as much of this as you possibly can. And we're going to look at some examples here in a couple of minutes. But websites, not just your primary business website, but suppose that you are an SEO agency in Boise. You're going to want to go buy as many versions of SEO Boise or SEO agency Boise as you can and own all of those too. That's one. Another one is active social media profiles. In other words, you want to have a Twitter, a Pinterest, a Facebook, a TikTok, a YouTube. What else? Instagram. I don't think I said that. You get the idea. As many of those as possible, and have stuff on there, because you don't want to look like an abandoned business when people go to find out who you are and what you do. It's really, really important to have these. And there's a Google component too that I'm going to show you here in just a minute. Directory listings, that's things like Yelp, I'm not really a fan of Trustpilot, things like that. Then there's probably some industry specific ones. Company profiles, so things like Crunchbase are or like whatever LinkedIn calls their company pages. Wikidata, if you can get a Wikipedia page, that's great. It's really, really difficult to do, but there's other ones like WikiAlpha and a whole bunch of others that you can get that not only do they rank, but they also help you get a Wikipedia page down the road and help you get a Google Knowledge Panel, which I don't have listed here and should have. So there's that. And then there's some fancy ones you can get like IMDb. Just check out my YouTube channel. I show you, there's a video on there that shows you a hack for getting an IMDb profile. And that's really important for getting a Google Knowledge Panel. And it's just cool, like if I'm being honest. And then there's forums, there's Reddit, there's Quora, there's the Legit forum, and so on. Having posts about you on those is really important. They rank really, really well in Google, and they get a lot of traffic all of their own as well. You want to create as much of this as you possibly can for yourself so that you control what people find. That's the part of this that I want you to really get, is the goal here is to own your reputation, own your digital real estate, own your brand, own your name, which can be a struggle. And I'm going to show you why in a minute, but own as much about you as you possibly can, because it's the most valuable asset you have in business and in your personal life is your reputation. And we're going to talk about the importance of that here in a little bit as well. The next thing is digital PR. Get in as many high-end press articles as you can. I have spots in Forbes. I have spots in Men's Journal. I have spots in Maxim. I'm fully clothed in that Maxim spot. I have Yahoo Finance, Market Insider, Inc. I'm in a lot of different places, and it's expensive, but it's absolutely worth it. Not only is it a powerful backlink and it's a source of traffic, but it's again something that will rank all on its own, and it helps establish you as a brand and as an entity, and it takes up spaces that nobody else can for your name. It's super important. Some other ways to get like digital PR are by giving interviews. So you can interview people. I've interviewed a ton of people on my channel, and vice versa. You can go on other people's podcasts or channels or live streams or whatever type of show they have, TV, if that's your thing. Speak at events. People really associate authority with event speaking. I don't know why, but events are a great source of that. So if you want, you can go to an event and just be seen with somebody that's important, that if you're not speaking yourself, but if you speak at them, you can do that too. You can go to Legit and buy press releases from 38 Digital Market, Spine PR, SEO Booster, or any of the great other press release providers. Those will create hundreds of links on news sites and other high-end publications for you in a matter of days. And then high-end PR articles. I kind of touched on this already with stuff like Maxim and Men's Journal, but there's like Los Angeles Times, LA Weekly. There's a whole section on Legit for these two. Those are a little pricey, but they're absolutely worth it because they have a lot of SEO value. They rank on their own, and they rank for your brand name. And the whole point of all of that is to illustrate to you there's so many different things that you can have for your brand name, and they have such an impact on your business. People will look at that. People will use that to evaluate you as a person. We're taught not to judge, and we probably shouldn't, but we do. I don't remember the number, but there's something, when you look at a person for the first time, you make something like 275 judgments the very first second that you see them. So making sure that when people do that online is really critical to your business, and owning as much digital real estate as possible makes it hard for anyone else to say anything about you that you don't want them and to say, and you will take up as much Google space as you can. And the last but not least, in part, before we move on to some examples, it's much easier if you get out in front of this and build all this for yourself, all this for your clients, all this for your business, than it is if something happens and you get some bad press, or somebody just decides to do a negative press campaign on you, to then go and remove that shit. That's a lot more work. And if you're already have all that established, it's going to be much harder for something like that to impact you. And I'm going to show you some examples now of the value of it, and why, like, sometimes I can't overcome certain things. So let me stop screen, present, share screen, window, share. All right. So My name, as you know, is Chris Walker. So let's go Chris Walker. Not seeing a whole lot of me there. What you are seeing is a musician from the early 90s. And fun fact, this gave me a different result earlier when I searched it because, God, Google's so annoying in that way. Because this is not him, I don't think. No, I guess it is. Yeah, you can see there was a one-hit wonder in the 90s named Chris Walker. And my chances of claiming any SERP real estate for the term Chris Walker is very, very difficult because he's done a very good job of owning that brand. And he's a celebrity, so that helps. He's got a knowledge panel and so on. So there's really nothing I can do without spending probably hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to claim the Chris Walker brand because my guy here got to it for me or before me. So you see what I mean? How if I wanted to be Chris Walker online, it's how I said it's harder to start from behind. This is a great example of that. Chris Walker owns that. So what I had to do was come up with Chris M. Walker. And you see, and this is, again, different than it was 2 hours ago. But you can see my Instagram is number one. I have a Google Knowledge panel. This is my personal brand site, my LinkedIn, a bunch of pictures of me. And then remember I talked about having active social media is important. This is my X/Twitter profile. And this carousel right here has recent posts. And this is literally what you're watching right now is this stream here on Twitter, is this first part of the Twitter carousel. Here's an interview. And I'm glad this comes up instead of something of mine. This is an interview I did last week with Navneet Kaushal, one of the speakers at Legit Live. You can see doing an interview on somebody else's channel helped out. This is a TikTok, that's an Instagram reel that I posted back in October. This is a video I posted on Instagram it's my personal brand video from May last year. Now you see we're getting into someone else. This poor bastard, his name is also apparently Chris Walker, and he's trying for Christopher M. Walker. And he probably realized he has no shot at Chris M. Walker. That's somebody other than me. I don't know who it is. I think it might be the actor. And then you can see my Facebook profile, another Facebook profile, the YouTube channel that most of you are watching on right now, my Twitter profile, my YouTube channel, that's the actor. I have an IMDb page, but the actor's taking that up. Here's my Forbes Technology Council, and now we're getting into some other folks, but my Amazon influencer page, my IMDb page, a couple of my legit services. Hi. You can see that we're in the page 3 now, and we're still you cannot get I own almost everything that has to do with this term. So that's kind of the point I want to make, is that I've flooded the internet with stuff about me, and partly because I'm a narcissist, but partly because I want to control my reputation. And I never want someone to search for me and find something that might negatively impact my business, or that other thing that I told you about that this is valuable for. And this can apply to your company as well. So Legit is harder because, first of all, when we first bought Legit, I had to convince Google that I did not mean the proper English word legit. So that's, a little tip there. But you can see the website properly comes up first, of course, with the, what do you call those? Site links. We have several of the people also asks. Yeah, whatever the right grammar is on that. Our LinkedIn page is number 2. Our Twitter is number 3. Again, the carousel right here, literally what you're watching right now is showing up. Now, see, I talked about forums. Quora is actually ranking here. And Quora is I guess you could call it a forum. It's a shit site if you ask me, but it ranks really well. And this is somebody else asking if Legit is a freelancing platform like Fiverr, because of course. On our Facebook profile, our Trustpilot profile, we're going to be talking about that in a minute. LegitReview.com may or may not be a site that I created to help us rank. When I say may or may not, I probably mean may. Next page is our app on the Google Play Store. This is a review that FatRank did for us. Our Twitter profile, our support desk. So there's a little parasite SEO hack for you. Is our support desk software ranks for Legit. Glassdoor, another review site that we'll be talking about. Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Reddit. We have a subreddit that we own. See, now we're getting into page 3 and we've still not found anything. Another Quora are legit. And you can see Tatia, who's actually on the stream right now. Our app on the App Store or YouTube, SimilarWeb, TikTok. This is a review. Legit Leads, which is a software, another of our help desk software. You get the point. Like we have absolutely now, and we used to have a knowledge panel, and I'm gonna have to see what happened with that. I don't know why our knowledge panel isn't showing. But anyway, you get the point. We have again flooded the internet for that term. You don't see anything really negative about any of that. Even on the review sites that you saw, like Trustpilot, we have a really good rating on Trustpilot. So my point is that now it makes it really, really difficult for somebody else to come in and kind of screw us on our own brand name or on my own name, which is kind of a brand of itself as well. Now let's go ahead and do this one more time. Let's do Superstar SEO. This is one that I've put less effort into. And I actually didn't even plan to do this as I prepared for it. So let's see. Again, my website with the site links shows up there. My Google Business or whatever the fuck it's called now. Facebook page, 3 videos, my legit profile, Superstar SEO Academy, Superstar SEO Instagram, LinkedIn, my Chamber of Commerce, which is a great link, by the way, which is a good link building hack, by the way. A lot of Chambers of Commerce give you a branded URL, and it's a do follow backlink. And then you can put in your social profiles too. And like even in mine, it lets you put in a keyword like and with an anchor. So I hammered that with PBNs and it really helped my ranking back in the day. Design Rush, which is a directory, an interview I did with Niche Pursuits, a web, like a fake app, basically, ClickFunnels Academy. You get the idea. I barely have even touched this brand, and I'm still basically own everything that anyone can find in it, and it's all positive. I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to ask for a little bit of engagement. If you're watching, can you tell me if you understand the value in owning as much digital real estate as possible? Give me a yes or a no in the chat, and then we will continue in a moment. But tell me if you can understand why this is so important and how you can go about owning this and why you want to do this for yourself and for your clients and so on. So please, everybody that's watching, let me know in the chat, and then we will continue on with the presentation. And while we're doing that, I'm going to check Facebook, make sure I didn't miss any questions there. All right, let's see. Are you saying no, you don't understand why this is valuable, or no, you don't have any questions? All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and soldier on because we have still a good bit to cover. But if you have, let me know what you think. Like, do you see the value in this or not? Let me share the screen. All right. Paul says no. James and Tatia say yes. Paul, if you're saying no, that you don't see the value in it, can you just, I guess, just explain to me what? Oh, you don't have any questions. Okay, cool. That's what I thought you probably meant, but I want to be sure. Okay. So all of these have massive value on their own. I'm sure that you can see that. They also help with SEO. Branded referral traffic is an absolute SEO hack right now. What that means is if somebody searches, goes to Facebook or something, finds your profile and then clicks over to your website, that's an important ranking signal right now. And they also help us with the next item on the list. And I think this is something that not a lot of people have thought of in the past, but that is reviews. Now, that's what a lot of people think of when they think of online reputation management is reviews. And owning your own digital real estate is really important for reviews, but I'm going to explain why in just a moment. But before we do that, whether we like them or not, and personally, I absolutely hate them, people care about reviews. I hate them because it doesn't really matter what people say. Like, people can say whatever the hell they want, whether it's true or not, a lot of the times. So anyway, positive reviews are mostly a good thing. But there is evidence, and this is just a kind of an anecdote, but there is evidence that having a less than perfect review mixed in actually works more effectively than having all positive reviews or too many positive reviews. It sounds, counterintuitive and frankly kind of dumb, but people are paranoid and they assume everything that is too hard for them to grasp is a scam. And a perfect review profile triggers this paranoia in some people. So if you get like one bad review, it's not the end of the world. So think about that it may actually help you respond to it in a way that you're addressing future people that will read it, as opposed to the asshole that left it for you in the first place, and move on. So some review sites, and this is far from exhaustive, but it's just what I could think of off the top of my head. But Google, obviously, Google reviews are probably the most well-known and the most common. They're about the most useless in my opinion, but people seem to think they're important. Yelp is extremely hard to even leave a real review on, in my experience. Trustpilot is kind of for like B2B companies, but I mean, it's kind of for everybody, but most people are going to go to Yelp to review a restaurant, and most people are going to go to Trustpilot to review a software. So that's kind of how I look at the difference. Facebook, although it seems like they've kind of phased those out to some extent. Glassdoor, which is where employees can review employers, and I think vice versa. I'm not 100% sure. And then industry specific ones. I know of a lot of like software specific ones, and I assume that there are others in other industries. Like in software, there's Capterra, and there's G2, and there's all these other ones that the lifetime deal folks like to spam. So those are just some. I just thought I would list that so we were on the same page with what we're talking about, because I didn't want you to think I was talking about like Amazon or something like that. As far as negative reviews, no one likes getting bad reviews, but unless nobody's buying from you or contacting you, eventually it's going to happen no matter what you do. And the best insurance against bad reviews is not deserving them in the first place. We'll get to more on that in just a minute. But the second best thing you can do is kind of back to the first point, and that's have so much digital real estate, like we discussed, that the impact of any negative review is softened or even totally negated, because everything out there about you is stuff that you've made and stuff that you've created and times that you've talked about yourself, press that you've done, properties that you own, and all sorts of good stuff about you, that one review from that guy who didn't like the color of blue in your logo or some dumb shit like that gets kind of minimized. So again, I want to go back to stressing the point of owning as much real estate as possible, so you can, and so you don't get crippled by somebody having a bad day. So fake reviews. Occasionally you're going to get fake reviews. It happens. It sucks. The platforms are not as responsible as they should be, and I don't know, managing this. Some are better than others. As much as I dislike them, to their credit, Trustpilot is probably the best one for working with people to get those taken down. Google's the absolute worst. They don't give two shits. I had a client once this is a fun story, but who was an insurance agent, and somebody left him a Google review talking about how the waiter was rude and the food was cold. Clearly they left it. It was either fake or they were just dumb and they left it for the wrong thing. So we appealed it, and Google said it wasn't fake and left it there. And that is not, and I say that as an anecdote, but stories like that are very, very common. Google does not give a fuck if your review is true or not. Like, pardon my language, but it's something that I find very irritating, and that there's not much you can do. Some platforms are better than others in helping you remove them. If you can remove them through that platform by appealing them or doing whatever they offer you, that's the best course of action. It doesn't work that often, depending on the platform. If not, you can try legal action. If it's a straight up defamation or a lie, lawyers can help you with that. It's expensive and it's tedious, but it might be worth it depending upon, the case. You can also try DMCA type things. There was one site that somebody was just a freelancer who was trying to scam us, and we banned him. And of course he had a tantrum rather than accepting that he was wrong. And he left a review on some review site, and he took our logo and wrote the word scam across it and uploaded that. So I did a DMCA on the logo because he was defacing our logo, and it got the whole review taken down. So that's just a little reputation management hack for you, I guess. The other option is one that I do when we get somebody on Trustpilot that sucks and leaves us a bad review that we don't deserve. And by the way, I only do this when it's a bad review that we don't deserve. If it's something we do deserve, I try to address it as best as I possibly can. But when it's something we don't deserve, what I do is I wait and I let us build up a bunch of goodwill, and then I cash that in and ask people to leave us a whole bunch of good reviews to kind of negate that. So that's another tactic that you can do too. If you, instead of like just getting them gradually over time, what you can do is just bomb them when somebody gives you a bad one, and you basically push them back into oblivion. So, your mileage may vary, but that's kind of my spiel on online reputation management. As kind of the overview of the O part of it and maybe of the M part of it. But another important part of a ORM to consider is the actual R, your reputation. As I mentioned earlier, the best way to avoid bad reviews is to not deserve them in the first place. And the way to do that is something that Jim is actually going to jump on now and talk to us about. Sure. Take it away. Do you need the screen, or you just?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
I don't need the screen share, but I'll show my handsome face.
I mean, you're on screen, so.
Oh, okay. So yes, reputation in and of itself. Obviously, the better reputation you have, the easier it's going to be to protect it. So one of the biggest things that you can do, in my professional opinion, is communicate properly. Now, a lot of the issues that I've seen and come across either for myself or for clients, you get people who are pissed off, usually because they have not been communicated with. So one of the best ways to protect your reputation is to over communicate. Now, part of that is even the bad stuff. Even, hey, when you mess up, when you miss a deadline, when you don't do the right thing because, hey, accidents happen, proactively communicate with the person on the other side and say, hey, we made a mistake. I'm willing to make it right. A lot of the time when you step up and you say, hey, we messed up, and whether it's you got a restaurant and you served cold food, you delivered to the wrong house, you do website design, you put the wrong logo in, or you messed up, or whatever it is, whatever the situation is, if you own it and you say, hey, we made a mistake, I'm willing to admit that I messed up. I will make it right for you. I'll do the right thing, whether it's give them a discount, whether it's go above and beyond to make it right. Communicating with them in the first place will, in most cases, resolve that issue, because a lot of times what happens is people will leave these negative reviews because they feel slighted, they feel left out, and they feel like it's the only thing that they can do to get a response. Right? A lot of times, if you are feeling unheard as a consumer, you feel like, man, the only thing I could possibly do to get their attention or to get back at them is to leave a bad review or to go write something negative. But what happens if the company is proactive and realizing that they have an unhappy customer on their hands and handling the situation before it escalates into a problem? In a lot of cases, you can prevent that from happening at all. So tip number one for me is over communicate with your customers. The more that you can be ahead of the problem, the less problems you're going to have to solve. Right? So that's tip number one for me. Tip number two is keep your promises. Okay, this is a huge part and really goes hand in hand with the communication part, is setting the right expectations and then meeting those expectations. Now, what I mean by that is if you tell a customer, yes, I'll get that done for you today, and you do not do it today, now you have an unhappy customer. If you tell your customer, hey, I will get that done for you within the next 2 days, and you can do it today, you have a thrilled customer. The difference is you promised them in the next few days versus today, and you did the thing you promised them. Right? There's probably been a lot of cases where you've dealt with maybe a contractor who said, yes, I'll get you a quote out today. Then it's like 3 days later and you still haven't gotten a quote from them. They could be the best person to do the job for you, but if they are unresponsive in the very first thing that they promised you that they would do and get back to you in a couple days or today, tomorrow, whatever it is, they've lost. Right? They've already lost you as a potential customer because they've broken that promise. So keeping the promises that you make to your customers is going to be one of the best ways that you can maintain your reputation in the first place. Because a lot of this, like Chris said before, the better reputation that you have, the less you're going to have to worry about this. The more good reviews you're going to have, the more good press you're going to have, the more good stuff there's going to be. Because you're always going to get those one or two negative issues that come up, even from people who they're just mad. and you just happen to be the recipient of whatever they're mad at. They're mad at the world, but you're the closest thing to them that they're just going to take out their aggression on you. It's going to happen. But if you've spent years building a good reputation, it's going to be obvious, right? First of all, you're going to have years worth of positive reviews, and all of those positive reviews are going to so outshine that one negative that the rest of the people who are going to look at that and be like, and something doesn't fit in here. This one person must be totally off base because their experience is so far away from everyone else's. You can just tell that they're angry. And that's, like Chris said before, having a mix of good and bad reviews, I think it's healthy to let people understand, hey, it's not just all fake 5-star reviews. There are some real 1 and 2 stars mixed in there, but those people are clearly off base compared to what your standard is, right? And part of that is having to have that standard in the first place. So when you keep the promises you make to yourself, to your customers, to everyone you interact with, that's going to be a huge part of building and maintaining that reputation in the first place. Now, the next part that I think is really huge is transparency and honesty, and it goes with that communication part. So when you are able to be open and transparent and honest with your customers and everyone you interact with, it removes a lot of that concern or fear or story that they make up in their head where they're going to have to try and figure out for themselves or play detective. Because a lot of times you'll see people that you interact with, they want to find a scam. They want to find a scandal. Like they just enjoy, for some reason, uncovering some scandal that doesn't exist, but it's only in their head. Right, Chris? Am I on base?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay. So if you can just be upfront and honest with them in the first place and tell them, hey, this is what's going on, it removes that. And it's never going to remove it entirely because some people, again, are just off base. They just want to find that. But people by default want to feel like they're the victim in a story. And I wish it wasn't the case. But look, we got to address the world the way it is, not the way we want it to be. It just is. A lot of times the people you interact with are dealing with other stuff on the outside. So when you understand that, when you understand, hey, you can be open and transparent with them, even if the story sucks, right? Even if you missed your deadline and you communicate properly and you are doing ethical business, it is what it is. You own the situation, you get out ahead of it, and you prevent it from being a problem in the first place. Look, this is just really about having ethics in business and doing the right thing. And when you can do that, you can prevent as many problems as you possibly can. If you are being unethical, if you are practicing shady business tactics, and you are hoping to just use online reputation management to just bury it and hide it and pretend it doesn't exist, you're fighting such an uphill battle. It's harder to do that than it is just to do the right thing in the first place. Right? So don't look at it as, hey, how can I take a shortcut to get around any unethical or scammy crap I did? Don't do the scammy crap in the first place. Right? And everyone at some point is tempted to take a shortcut. I get it, because we all want those Amazon Prime results, right? We want the results tomorrow on our doorstep. And sometimes it's frustrating because it takes time to build and it takes time to receive that. But what happens is when we take these shortcuts and when we resort to unethical tactics, when we resort to trying to lie, cheat, and scam our way to get a customer, it blows up in your face. So a big, tremendous part of having a good reputation online is having a good reputation in real life. And I can't emphasize enough communication, keeping your promises, transparency, and honesty. I think if you really focus on those things primarily, doing the right thing by your customer, maintaining a standard, the results online will match the results in real life, right? In most cases, if you are ethical and you're doing the right thing in person, that's going to trickle through, right? You're going to deal with a lot of customers. Let's use the restaurant, for example. We feed 250 people a day on average. Maybe we'll get 1 or 2 reviews. So it's not every one of those 250 people are so wowed that they're going to go leave a review or whatever the case is. But we've got, 250 something 5-star reviews. It's over the course of a couple of years, we build those up. But my point there is not every single person you interact with is going to leave a positive review in the real life. So the more that you do the right thing in the real world, it's going to trickle down, right? So maybe it's 5% of the people you interact with in person will be so moved that they move to leave a review. Okay, great. The more positive you do in the real world, the more positive that's going to translate in that 5% who leave a review. So number one thing is focus on doing the right thing in person, do the right thing in business. The results will follow.
And in addition to the results that follow it, doing the right thing also happens to be doing the right thing. So there's that reason for it too. So I think that was very great. That was much more profoundly put than I would do it. And that's why I wanted to have Jim cover that side of it, because I talked about like the tactical and the practical side of it, but a lot of people overlook the R in ORM. And I think that's really important. They look at it as just an SEO thing that you do and a social media thing that you do. But the easiest way to make all of that work is to just deserve to have a good reputation. Now, he talked about the philosophical or the conceptual stuff behind it, and I talked about some of the basics and the tactical stuff. Who would like to get some more advanced online reputation management training? Who would like to hear from someone that's really out there and is really an expert and really does this? Let me know in the chat if you want to know more about online reputation management and who can really bring that to you. Just let me know in the chat and just say yes or me or something to let me know that you want more of that, because I have something I want to share with you that I think is going to be pretty exciting for you. How are bosses? What's going on, Robiel? You know, when some people have the same profile picture for years and then they change it, I can't like even recognize them anymore. It's fascinating how that works, because some people like just never change theirs. Tatia says yes. Paul says sure. All right. So the good news is coming up. Let me just switch the thing I'm presenting. The two of you compliments this content greatly. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you guys enjoyed this topic and you want to know more about it, because coming up in September, one of the speakers at Legit Live is going to be covering this exact topic, and he's much more experienced at it and does this for a living. And I heard him talk on it a while back, 4 months ago, and he's really going to bring some cool stuff. I got a little bit of insider information on what he's going to be talking about. And yeah, you can see we started to get the agenda up there. But yeah, James Slattery, who's often on these streams, I don't think he's here today, but he's often on these streams, is going to be covering online reputation management in depth at Legit Live in September I guess he would be on the 14th. This is tentative, of course, but he's going to be going in depth on advanced online reputation management and additional topics around that, much more than what I did. But basically what I told you today was just kind of what to do to get started. That's just like, if you were taking an SEO course, it would be like SEO stands for search engine optimization is what you got today. Basically, James is going to go in depth and show you some really, really great stuff. And that's just one of the presenters that we have, so we can show it. Oh, this has changed since the last time I looked at it. He's just one of the awesome presenters that we have. Where is he? Right here. James is a great presenter. He's a great guy. He's really knowledgeable. He's one of the presenters I got a lot from at an event I went to a while back. And that alone, like reputation management, like do you offer it to your clients, Jim?
Yeah.
How much? You don't have to give away exactly, but how much would a typical ORM package cost?
I mean, it's upwards of that, probably upwards of $1,500 a month on average.
$1,500 a month. So if you want to learn how to do that, you can ROI that in a day by coming to our event, right? Like to be honest, I think you're undercharging. I don't know exactly what you do, but I know people that charge 5 times that much. So
yeah,
if you want to learn how to do that, come to Legit Live. It's going to be there's going to be 15 or 16 great speakers from a variety of different industries. They're going to teach you everything you need to know to grow and scale businesses. And like I said, James is going to talk to you about online reputation management. And Jim just told you how much potential money there is in that. So the price for these tickets is going to go up at the end of July. But even with the increased price before the early bird, it's going to be worth it just from that one presentation alone. And you get 15 more on top of that, or whatever the number is on top of that. We're still filling out the site here, but yeah, I mean, we got speakers from coming literally from all over the world. Navneet's coming from India. Where is Kira is coming from? If you, fingers crossed, is coming from the United Kingdom. Eldar is coming from Israel. Like I made a point, and by the way, I'm going to be doing a stream with Eldar tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. But I made a point to bring in the best of the best, so that you can ROI this just from the content alone. And Jim, I think you'll agree with this. That's not even the most value in going to a live event, right?
Agreed.
What is?
Yeah, I would say definitely the networking in person, like the experience that you get from sharing a room with these people, and the presentations are amazing. I will say that hands down. But the 15-20 minutes that happen in between presentations or during lunch or during breakfast, when you get to just have an actual human conversation and network with these people, is 10, 15, 20 times more valuable, in my opinion.
Yeah. And not to mention what happens afterwards, because that can be both very good for your business and a lot of fun, at least in my experience, especially if you hang out with some of these particular people that are very, very exciting to hang out with outside. But like I say, if you enjoyed this presentation on online reputation management, tip of the iceberg, James is going to really bring the heat. I wish he'd have been on today. If I'd have thought ahead, I would have asked him. But yeah. As far as the event details, it's going to be September 13th will be the VIP parties. We're still sorting that out. We should have that figured out in the next day or two, what that's going to be. Then the event will be on the 14th and 15th, which is a Saturday and a Sunday, from give or take, of course, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The agenda we're still uploading. Day one is exclusive for VIPs. We'll be updating that soon. We're still sorting out the rest of this as well, because, well, it's a lot to manage, to be perfectly honest. I'll be hosting and being the MC, because that's a cool title. I need to get a better picture. This one is a little dated. Jim will be there as well. He's going to be presenting and helping run stuff. Gregory Ortiz, longtime friend of mine and SEO expert, is going to be talking to us about client retention. So you put in all this effort to get clients. Nobody ever talks about how to keep them. He is really good at that, and I've benefited from it. I have a client, for example, that I've had for 9 years now. I still had a day job when I signed him. Jim, you know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
Andrew, who runs our Facebook ads and our YouTube ads and our TikTok ads, and also was responsible for the production of the commercial we just launched, is going to be talking to us about TikTok ads. Do not sleep on TikTok. Let me ask you this. Go ask somebody under the age of, 25, where they search for stuff. They're either going to say ChatGPT or TikTok. They're not going to say YouTube or Google. So do not sleep on TikTok. Eldar, I think we're still sorting out his topic, but I imagine it'll be around local SEO to some. Navneet is going to be talking to us about SEO as well. Brian what was his? It was Google Authority Amplification and Syndication. If that doesn't get you excited to be there, I don't know what will. Michael, I haven't gotten a topic from yet. Terry is the master at schema. I've seen my guy rank a blank web page with nothing but schema, and I'm sure he's going to show you how to do something like that. We talked about digital PR and the value of that. Randy is a master at that. He's going to be one of our presenters. I haven't gotten a topic yet from Brock, but we will. James, that we've already talked about. I don't know what. I think Robbie's actually going to talk about how he used Legit to grow his agency. And how he's made connections that have been hugely beneficial to him, and he's doing some cool stuff with AI. Kira is going to be talking about international SEO. She has a really unique skill set and a really unique perspective on that. And I haven't gotten a topic yet from Brian, but I know that he will bring the heat as well. These are the ticket prices. You can just come down here. Let's just go through what you get with each, and we still need to add that we have the awesome thing that we're going to roll out that Jim's going to tease here in a second. So I will give you a chance to think about what you're going to say while I say that. The executive package, you get 2-day event access. That means Saturday and Sunday. And you'll get to hear all the speakers and all the networking and stuff. If you want to go VIP, there will be a party of some sort on Friday night. You'll get lifetime access to the legit dashboard, which is $97 a month. So, right there, you pays for itself in a year. Preferred seating, meaning you can sit wherever you want. You'll get the event recording once it's done. And then what else? It's going to be catered, so there will be lunch and snacks and water and coffee and stuff like that throughout the day. And of course, you can go elsewhere if you prefer. Some of our sponsors are, of course, Superstar SEO and Hardcore Growth, which happen to be our businesses, and Local Dominator, which is Eldar's company. He's been generous enough to sponsor us. The hotel is selling out quickly, by the way. I spoke to the lady that's our contact there yesterday. It's Island Vista Resort. If you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, you saw a video I took of it yesterday. Well, not a video, but like a story I took of it yesterday. It's a really nice. It's right on the beach. It's 3 minutes from the event location. It's a really good hotel. And I think it's pretty inexpensive, but make sure that you mention Legit SEO Conference Block, that number. The venue is one that I have a personal connection to, and I'm going to explain that at the event. But it's a historic location. It's one of the first golf courses in Myrtle Beach. It's been there since the 1800s. They've got this really badass ballroom that the event's going to be in. It's Pine Lakes Country Club. It's really, really nice. You can go check that out. I thought we had a link to it on there. I guess not. We'll get a link to it on there if you want to check out a little bit about that. But yeah, I don't. And then of course we have the awesome new technology that we're going to be rolling out. Now we can't give out a lot of details, but you want to tease that a little bit, Jim?
I would love to. So yeah, and that's the struggle, is I don't know what to say there without giving away too much, because there's a lot to say. And man, how do I want to say it? Because I've been playing around with it. You know what I've been doing the past couple of days, and the amount of information, things that I've been able to achieve. Oh man, how do I want to say it? Things I've been able to achieve using that, I've been able to achieve in like 30 seconds what would normally take me 4 or 5 hours to do. And the result is 5 times better. I'm able to save a ridiculous amount of time, get a better result, and do things that I just really wasn't even able to do before in like the push of a couple buttons. And man, I don't even know what else to say other than you have to see it, because man,
really, it's something that everybody else is doing anyway, right?
No,
sarcasm.
I mean,
in case that didn't
come. It's something that no one else is doing, and no one else is even physically capable of doing. To be honest with you, the amount of stuff that we've learned through the years and the amount of information that we can sort of dissect and use allows us to do this, that honestly there's no one else who's physically capable of doing what we're doing. Yeah, it's beyond cutting edge. And I know I'm stumbling over words, but I don't know how to say it without giving it away. And I'm just, nerding out about it. Honestly, I've been playing with it every day for, the past few days, and it's awesome.
Yeah. I'm the same with you. Like I'm not going to lie. This was my idea, and I'm really proud of it and really excited about it to bring it to the world, because I don't like to use this as an analogy because I suck at analogies, and I don't know if this is offensive or not, but I feel like it must be what it's like on like month 6 of you about to have a child, and you're like excited to meet the kid. You're a little nervous to see what it's going to be, how it's going to go. But that's how I feel. Like I can't wait to share this one. To be clear, everybody at the event will get access to that before anybody else. So you will get that, and then a month or 2 down the road, we'll roll it out to the rest of the world. So you're just going to have a massive competitive advantage to if you're there, and why wouldn't you want to be there? And just on top of all the advantages of it being a business event, it's a lot of fun. Like, this is a great place to vacation. Myrtle Beach has a year-round population of 30,000, and it gets 14 million tourists a year. So that tells you people want to come here. I've lived here 99% of my life, and the fact that I've never moved should tell you something. It's got all the experience, all the great stuff that a big city has, without all the pressure of a New York or something like that. So the beach is easy. It's beautiful. The temperature is great, especially in that time of year. It'll be you never know, but it should be in the low 80s Fahrenheit, whatever that is in Celsius. I don't know. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's a great place. We've put a lot of time and effort into this. We wanted to do something a little different, but also bring a lot of value to you. And we may even have a speaker or 2 that's not on here yet. So I don't know. Does anybody have any questions about the event or online reputation management or anything else before we kind of call it a day? We got a lot of folks still on, so I'm hoping to get a little bit of engagement from you, get some questions, but I don't know, just come to the event. It'll be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm super excited about it. Jim's super excited about it. So is the rest of our team. You'll actually get to meet some of the folks that make this magic happen too. I often get the credit for everything at Legit, but really I'm just the Colonel Sanders of Legit. I'm the face on the sign, and everybody else makes this work. And some of our team will be there too. And so some of you can get a chance to meet them in person. That's really cool too. So, any questions on that or anything else other than how to get orders on Legit? And I will answer those in the next couple of minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up pretty soon. The pricing, I think, is very affordable. You can just go here, click purchase now. It'll take you over to a standard checkout page. I'm always afraid it's going to show my debit card number when I do that. Because if you have like Shop Pay or whatever, it fills that in sometimes, but it doesn't apparently. So that's good. You just fill in your information and you'll be good to go. You'll be locked, cocked, and ready to rock. So you can just click buy tickets now, which by the way, you got to fix the scrolling on, Jim. So just, I noticed that earlier. And it'll take you right down to the tickets and you can just check out. If you have questions, you can always, like after the stream, you thought of like, what time will it start, whatever, you can let us know. You can let Legit Support know. You can message me privately or anything else. So let me stop sharing my screen for one moment to make sure. All right, we'll share again. Share screen, window. Steph says, late to the show, but I definitely recognize the value of dominating your branded term SERPs. Good. Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't feel like it gets enough attention in SEO, especially from like agencies. Like if you look at like SEO agencies, I did a video, I don't know, 3-4 days ago about being unique. If you go look at those agencies that I would highlighted as not great in that video, you will see, and like you Google them, you won't find near what you did for me. So, so yeah, my point is, a lot of people neglect that and they shouldn't because it's important. Tatya says, will it be recorded for accessing later? Yes. We're also going to work on a live stream. It's going to really depend on how good the internet connection there is. So no promises on that, but there will be a recording. Yes. And if you get the VIP package, you get that for free. If you don't get the VIP package, you'll be able to purchase it later on. I don't know what that's going to cost yet or how that's going to work. But yes, there will be a recording, God willing. But you'll be months behind and you won't get access to the cool stuff that we're unveiling, and you won't get the networking and so on. So definitely want to be there. Speakers also tend to have, and I'm not speaking for any of them, but a lot of them tend to have like specials that are available to whatever they do for, there. And I guess that's the point I should make too. This is not an in-person webinar where we're just going to pitch you some shit. And that goes for all the speakers too. I have gone to events like that and I hate that. And I know a lot of other people hate it too. So this will actually be a lot of value, and that's what we want to bring to you. So if anybody has any more questions, I'm here for you. Do you have your ticket booked yet, Jim?
I do. Ready to go.
Are you staying at the hotel there?
Yes.
Is your family coming?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a vacation out of it. There's a lot to do there.
Yeah, it is. It's a great family spot. There's a lot of cool stuff to do here. In fact, we're going to have that on the site pretty soon too, for those of you that want to vacation here. I know a couple of the speakers are even doing that. So, I mean, in addition to Jim, I will not be vacationing here. So, Paul says live stream would be great as I'm in Europe. Yeah, it's going to really just depend on the connection there. But we do have people coming from further away than that. Just saying. But I get it. I get that that's a haul. I'm going to the Philippines shortly after this event, and it's a 28-hour flight. And I get what you're saying, believe me. Tatia says, the next one, I will be there for sure. So the next one is this one. So that means you're going to be there. Great. I can spin anything. I've gotten so good at that. All right. I think it doesn't seem like there's a lot of questions. There's still a lot of folks on. If anybody wants to talk about reputation management or anything else we covered today, we can get into that too. Because I wanted to, and I hate this expression, but I wanted to bring you some value alongside of this. And then, if I'm being completely transparent, use it as a nice segue into pitching the event. Jessica says Myrtle Beach is so fun. Great chance to make it a vacation too, like Jim said. Yeah, absolutely. I think we probably need to address that in the copy a little bit more better. And the address, I guess I should say that out loud, is legitlive.com. We had some asshole in the Superstar SEO Facebook group when I posted that a couple weeks ago. Go, get a real domain name. I was like, get an active brain was my response. And then he said something else. And I told him to go back to his day job, and then I banned him. Remember how Jim was saying that sometimes somebody's mad at the world and they're going to take it out on you? That's a great example. So, all right, I think that's going to do it. I know I'm very busy. I'm sure Jim is too, and I'm sure all of you are as well. So, Jim, anything else you want to say before we call this good?
No, I think we call it good, and we'll see you there.
Absolutely. All right. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know where it's going to be broadcast yet. I'll have to check with Eldar, but I'm doing a stream with Eldar Cohn from Local Dominator, who is one of our sponsors. You can check that out right there, localdominator.co. So be on the lookout for that. He's also one of our speakers. You can see him right there. He's a great guy. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you are going to get sick of hearing about this event for the next few weeks. I'm going to be perfectly honest. The way to make that, to put a stop to that so you don't feel like you got left out. I had a gross analogy I was going to use, and I probably will use it as we get closer, but you do not want to be when I was growing up, and I don't want to equate it to that. There are a few moments in your life that you'll look back and say, I was there when, and I can think of a few in mine, and I want this to be one of those for everyone there. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that it is for you. So don't be somebody who doesn't have an I was there when story for the first Legit Live event. Be somebody that was there. Yeah. So Steph says, thanks, Chris. Love your no BS approach and appreciate you standing up to other people who give bad advice. Stay confident. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate that. All right. I think that's going to do it. I'll talk to you again soon. We'll be doing another one of these next week. We'll have another topic for you. And we may start doing some streams with some of the speakers as well. So be on the lookout for that too. But, last thing but not least, even if you can't make it to the event, I'll be disappointed, but I'll understand. But you're here now, and that's important. I appreciate that. I will never take that for granted. So thank you for spending some of your time with me. You could have been doing anything else right now. And I know we're all busy. So it means a lot that you took the chance to hang out with us today. I hope I gave you some value. I hope it gave you some entertainment. And I hope you'll come back. So, and last but not least, figure out what you want out of life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world. I'll see you in September. Peace.